Picking up where we left off from our last exciting episode, having arrived safely in the Moynihan train hall and enjoyed their hospitality till roughly 2:40, train number 97, the Silver Meteor to Orlando, Florida, southbound of course, had just been called. And with that I made my way to the departure hall and to the assigned track, only to find chaos as we can see. Here's what essentially happened. Train number 92 hadn't departed yet, and train 97, while it had made it to the platform, had suffered a minor mechanical problem. A cable linking one of the coaches had to be replaced. This caused the train's departure to be delayed. Unfortunately, and despite the fact that I was running about 10 minutes late getting out of the lounge, again, this was just the first boarding call, no one bothered to notify me from the Metropolitan Lounge that this delay had occurred. And so I found myself wading into a chaotic mess of people basically trying to get on the train, some of which were bound for train number 92, which was departing, others of which were like myself trying to get on 97. It would take about 20 minutes for this delay to clear up before we were finally permitted to walk down to the train and get on board.
I said, hey.
It's worse for wear already. Good God. Gotta go further up.
And unfortunately, once I did finally board my sleeping compartment, I would quickly find another disappointment. I had thought because of the way the trains had been numbered previously, as was with the Super Silver Star, which is a combined Silver Meteor Silver Star down to Florida, would be the same. Unfortunately, this was not the case. So, in fact, the room I thought would be an old school room with a toilet in it was in fact a more modern one, which, while slightly more spacious, lacks the private in-room toilet, and would in fact require me to change clothes every time I wanted to use the restroom at night.
Ja, I goofed. Ah, liebe Zeit. Ich bin ein Dummkopf. Oh, well, no use crying over spilled milk. But for goodness sakes. Ugh. Well, let me get settled. Okay, so pretty well set up here. My big bag is set on the side as always, and my toiletry bag is hooked up there, which is usually where I put it. Let me actually zoom into mode instead of 0.5. And my other bag thing is over here. And this, of course, is my jerry rig setup, but I have to say it works like it's working pretty well right now. Ooh, I didn't even see that train. Ooh, that was a nice catch.
And just to demonstrate how well that camera worked, let's take a look at that shot again from its perspective.
And my other bag thing is over here. And this, of course, is my jerry rig setup, but I have to say it works like it's working pretty well right now. Ooh, I didn't even see that train. Ooh, that was a nice catch. I think I'm gonna like this thing. It already caught me something I would never have gotten otherwise. But yeah, I wasn't expecting the new unit, which again doesn't have the bathroom here, so that's gonna be a problem tonight. Oh. A lot going on today here, isn't there? So anyway, making my way down now. embarkation was a little bit crazy. They called train 97, and as it turns out, 93 was boarding instead. So well, I think there were a few people that may have almost gotten on that one, myself included. Luckily, I was smart enough to ask, saying, "Hey, is this 97 or 93?" Luckily, it worked out. I'm on 97. I have confirmed I am on 97, and yeah, so it seemed to work out pretty well. So we're going to continue to cruise along here and hit Washington, D.C., maybe do some rail fanning up there. Gonna have to put in my dinner order soon. And yep, so we'll see how well this camera thing works out. This is again a GoPro mount. What this is pretty slick. I had a GoPro last time. That's why that video never got blogged, or the one before it, because I used GoPros twice and each one of them failed miserably. They got corrupted. There was something wrong with the files. Who knows? So this is my solution to it. This is the GoPro mount that I actually used for one of them, but with an adapter that lets me put a cell phone in it. So this is essentially what I'm using. So now I just have a standard older cell phone. This is my old S20, which not prehistorically old. It just the wireless transmitter failed on it. The camera's in great shape though, so I'm just going to record with it. Have it record these segments while I use my other cell phone to record everything else. It's a lot easier to take around than the GoPro. Don't have to worry about the corruption issues. Knock wood, hopefully. Knock whatever this is over here, but yeah. So anyway, I'll keep cruising here and see how everything works. Hopefully that camera will work out and I'll actually have footage this time.
Next, we'll skip ahead to Philadelphia, as there wasn't much train action going on in New Jersey at that time, with the exception of that said New Jersey Transit work train, which I did capture.
Look at that. It's like a regional coming in on the side of us. Oh boy.
Now arriving Philadelphia. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please watch your step when exiting the train. We're now arriving Philadelphia.
Too bad I didn't catch the locomotive yard there, but I guess it's a worthy consolation prize, what I just saw.
Next, we'll skip ahead to Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. represents the end of the Northeast Corridor and an engine change point for Amtrak, as all trains continuing beyond this point must be diesel-powered. With some time to kill, I did a little train watching and observing of locomotive moves around the area. I was particularly interested in getting more footage of the P-42s, as these engines are to be phased out and replaced with Siemens Charger locomotives sometime in the near future. Finally, after a delay of about 20 minutes or so as we waited for our diesel engines to actually show up, it was time to get back aboard the train. I did catch one more shot as I made my way back to my sleeping compartment.
Three engines on the train?
You want to sleep?
Yep. Thanks. 0.5, please. The next day, we arrived in Orlando about 45 minutes late due to traffic delays overnight, and one final delay where our counterpart train arrived in Orlando Station, which is a single block, preventing us from actually entering that station, as well as some additional Sunrail traffic from the Sunrail corridor. I took one last shot of the locomotives before heading off to my hotel. Next, after getting a ride share to my hotel, I found unfortunate that my room was not ready, and so, season pass in hand, I made my way to Universal Studios, in which I partaked in several of the rides, specifically Men in Black, one of my favorite ones, Spider-Man, The Cat in the Hat, before deciding to call it a day and come back to my hotel. I'd actually found out just after I had boarded my ride share to get to Universal Studios that my room was actually ready, but by this point I was committed to paying for the run and I wasn't going to back out of it at that point. And so after my brief day at Universal Studios, I made my way to my first hotel room for this trip. Alrighty. Here we are. Put my bag in here. Huh. Well, it looks like they did a refurbishment here again. My stuff over here. Well, tiny table, and they shrank things down. Why am I surprised? Everything's shrinking now. I guess this will do. Only over 4 nights. So, interesting trip down. An interesting night, not bad. I actually really enjoyed it. 1 or 2 minor delays. The last delay came. The dispatcher had a Sunrail train as we got into the Sunrail corridor. We were running a little bit late, so we missed our spot. The southbound train, the northbound train, our counterpart was in the station. Well, actually, first we had the Sunrail train that was there, and then our counterpart, the southbound train, the northbound train, losing my mind, we're the southbound train, pulled into the station before us, and that was the end of that. Had to wait for him to clear, and then we finally got over here. Tried to check in initially when I got over here with my lift after that, and couldn't because the room wasn't ready yet. Made my way over to... Well, I don't even have a balcony in this. It's really basic. Made my way over to Universal, and as I'm in the lift ride, halfway through the ride, I get a message saying, "Oh, the room is ready." Well, too late for that. So, yeah. A little bit awkward, but anyway, it all worked out. I'm back in here now after spending a few hours at the park. It's not too late. It's only about 7. I was going to stay later, but Spider-Man, the ride, had a really long wait. Yeah, it's 7:12, I think that is now. Ugh. There was 7:12, yeah. Spider-Man, the ride, had a long wait. Food had a very long wait. I figured, the heck with it. It's Halloween Horror night, so I figured I'd just come back to the room and relax. But yeah, there isn't much to be said about the room. It's a basic studio here at the SeaWorld Grand Vacation Club. Some of these lights don't work. I probably have them switched off. Entry area. Lock off door in case you make this a 2-bedroom suite.
This kind of weird thing which usually has a plant, it doesn't. The bathroom. Oh boy, what a hole in the wall. This is really tiny compared to what I'm used to. The wet bar thing. Refrigerator, sink, not too much, and microwave. I'm only here for a couple days, so it shouldn't be a problem. Get this lamp on here. I don't like it being dark in here. I'm gonna now go out and grab something to eat, and come back, relax a bit, and then get ready for bed. I'm absolutely bushed. Again, I left on this trip, as I will probably do in voiceover, the night after my shift was done, the day after my shift was done, because I do night shifts. So I literally got on the train, there we are, after work, and came straight down. I did sleep on the train, but not too well. I kept waking up, which is typical for me, although my back was hurting me a little bit, so I think that may have contributed to it. Whatever the case, I got through it and made it, but the sleep wasn't the greatest.
And that's going to do it for this second part of my trip to Orlando. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If not, thumbs down. Please subscribe as it will help me greatly. And as always, keep the metal side down.